Hey folks, this is Matt J. Rainwater here, and I wanted to start off today's recording with, like I talked about last time, let's go through the list of all of y'all, all your awesome Patreon contributors. Let's start from the top. So, starting with our $50 uh, per month tier contribution, we have Troy Morris. Hey Troy, how's it going? Um, and then next, $10, the message tier. Rachel Lee Dulac. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Pharmacist Judge. Thank you, Leo Empire. $3. Wait a minute. We're missing a tier. $5 tier, which is the journey. That is first person to actually subscribe to the $5 tier. That's Some Call Me Ozzy. $3 tier, the download. That's we have Anna Mikulkova. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Michael Silva. Thank you, Web D. Thank you, Taylor Hidalgo. And then on the $2 tier, that's The Veil is Drawn. We have Torben Comics. Thank you very much. Joe Louis Bevel Jr. Thank you so much, Joe. And thank you as well to Zoe Cohen. Thanks all of y'all for all your contributions, for all your support. You help keep the lights on, pay health insurance, whatever. Y'all all help me with all of it, and y'all help make Trailer Park Warlock a reality, as well as all the other projects that I do, because I like to keep myself busy. Anyway, let me turn this light on over here real quick. Just add a little bit more light. Okay, so the plan for today's recording is I'm just getting pages ready to color. Nothing too exciting. Maybe I'll do a little bit of coloring, but mainly I'm just getting pages ready to color, which means these pages have already been flatted by my coloring assistant, David Demerit. He's always been a huge help, and he's gotten me half the way there, and well, more than half the way, really. I'd say a good 85%. So I'm just gonna do this last. Was that 15%? Do this last 15%, and then I'm gonna get to coloring. But let's get going. Just switching my laptop over into tablet mode here, and let me get over into Photoshop. All right. So, main thing that I'm doing, a number of things. So, I think this page is already done. This is the page that I want to work on next. Let me check and make sure some things are working properly. It does not seem like it is working properly. No, it is. Okay. All right. So, one of the things I need to do when I'm getting pages ready to color is that I don't know if you can see this, what I'm doing. Right now, I'm actually doing some adjustments in my layers. I think what I'm going to do, this might be a little bit confusing initially. We're going to switch scenes. Let's do this. Turn off that. Uh-oh. Bear with me. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here, I say trying, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I don't. I have an action created that allows me to basically get my entire page ready in one fell swoop. And it's let's see, here's the action. I'm just going to do it. Oop, that's not it. Is it this one? There it is. So yeah, it basically wipes all the K value out of my CMYK layer. Sorry, I'm having to think about this for a second. I'm having a bit of a brain fart. And then creates all the layers I'm going to use when I'm coloring. So it's super helpful. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know why. It's going to happen a couple times throughout the course of this thing, because this tablet, one issue with this tablet, or maybe it's just an issue with Adobe Photoshop CS3, is that it's a very old version of CS3 and does not want to cooperate with me at all. It's not meant to be in any kind of tablet mode. All right, and so I'm just gonna get to it. Looks like David had missed a little bit right here with this smoke. This is, in terms of like, I don't know, parts in the coloring is still coloring on this. Okay, it's not really coloring on this tablet, it's coloring with CS3. It's a little clunky. Gonna be quite 100% honest with y'all. A little bit clunky, and I am probably at some point going to need to switch over to a newer version. Move on with my life. Let go of CS3. Maybe consider what's going on in Photoshop these days. I'm so out of the loop. Here's the thing. CS3 has worked for me for years now, and I'm kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now it's starting to get a little bit clunky here and there. That's why I'm having this sudden, thought, like maybe I need to change some things. Maybe it's time to move on. All right, this is a fairly quick page in terms of things that need to be fixed up. There's one page where I actually need to draw a new element, just because I didn't draw it. No other reason than that. I'm gonna color in this fire. Well, what's going on here? There we go. And then so this part is a little bit tedious. So basically I'm just taking all of this line art that I have, what are called color holds. Basically just means like line art that isn't black. And I'm making sure they're on layers that are separate from the black line art. Some of them I put on a layer that's above the black line art, and some of them I put on a layer that's like with the rest of the flat colors, because I want them to I want those colors to blend in with other lighting effects. So specifically like this sigil that's drawn on the ground here, I want that I'm going to try and blend it in with the dirt a little bit, and the effect that's going to be created by this like magical bubble thing. What else am I missing? Got that. So just, looks like just that. Oops. This giant thing above everybody. All right. I'll save in just a moment. Looks good. Except one more thing. Just one more thing. Just one more thing. great. Think. Oh, and Henry. Henry needs to be a darker purple. Looks good. The rest of that I'm gonna mess around with when I'm coloring. So that page is done. Save. Next. How many pages do I have left? Quite ready to be done with this part though, and move on to coloring. I always feel like I'm a little bit behind in my schedule. It's not a big deal, but it's just like one of those things where you can't help but feel that. All right, here we go. Created all the necessary layers. Gonna just do, this is the other thing that makes it kind of tedious, right? Is basically I gotta do it all over again. Again and again and again. For all of the pages till it's done. All right. I'm gonna take that line art. Should be done. Just got, oh, you know what? I think I missed something. We're gonna have to go back in just a moment to that last page I was working on. Shoot. What page was that? That was 12. So open page 12. See, why does it do that? Every time I open a document in Photoshop, it will minimize and go back to like the desktop, that really pointless desktop thing that's in tablet mode. It doesn't do that when it's in laptop mode, but in tablet mode it does that. Imagine there's something that I can do to like fix it, but that would take time. That would take time. Oops. All right, so now what I'm doing is the last thing I need to do when I'm doing this on any page, I'm getting ready for coloring, I'm converting the line art over to 100K, and then I have a layer underneath the line art layer. It's called backup. And I go and contract this selection by 2 pixels. And I fill that in with a mixture of 60 blue, 59, what? 60 blue, 60 magenta. What? That's not right. Something's up. It's supposed to be 60, 40, 40. Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time. Maybe I did. I think I didn't actually press the command. There we go. Yeah, so what you want, since the line art is set to, the line art layer is set to multiply, and underneath that you have the backup layer, and the backup, that's where you fill it in with this color that is 60 cyan, 40 magenta, 40 yellow. And that creates, I mean, this is something I learned from pre-press in printing comics, in printed comics. So it doesn't necessarily apply in the same way for digital comics. In fact, in digital comics, it's probably more preferred that you work in RGB, but I'm making Trailer Park Warlock to be both print and digital. So I ultimately kind of make this to be in print. All right, so back to what I was doing on this page. Right, all this line art, all these color holds. There are a lot of color holds in this part of season 2, and we're getting into season finale, folks. Nearing the end. Quite near the end here. Or at least the end of this story arc. I am planning, so starting from, episode 45? I'm saying it like this because this is how excuse me. Okay. Had to scratch my head. What was I saying? So starting from episode 45, because this is how I'm remembering it like this because this is how I did the contracting. But starting from episode 45, there are 20 more episodes for the rest of season 2, and then after that, we'll be done with season 2, and we'll be excuse me, we'll be moving on to season 3. Which really what that means is I'm gonna take a 1-week break, and then I'm going to create season 3 like mad. Just get it done. But it also means that in terms of the storyline in Trailer Park Warlock, we're gonna switch it up, and I like doing that way because then it gives us a definitive, just a tiny little break between making major changes between storylines, because this is honestly, other than Garage Raja, this is probably the first time I've ever made a huge shift in storyline from one set of things happening to a new set of things happening. All right, so that's all of... I'm being very vague, by the way. I'm being very vague, too, because I don't want to, I don't know. Don't want to give away too much. Should I? Maybe I should. Maybe I should give it all away. What do y'all want? You can always leave a comment. You can always leave a comment. Do you want me to tell you everything that's going to happen? Do you want 0 spoilers, or do you want... What do y'all want? In terms of, as Patreon contributors, do you want any information divulged as to the future Trailer Park Warlock, or what? Oh, I need... Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. I'm trying to... Big spoilers. Can I access a color? Don't... The color that I hope y'all forget what y'all... Don't look too closely. I'm gonna try and... Some of y'all might be... I don't know. Some of y'all might be concerned about spoilers, and that was spoiler heavy content. Spoiler. I have a hard time saying spoiler. All right. I think... Oh, right here. So that's a major thing that happens pretty much when I'm doing this, I have to change the hair color for all the vampire characters because in flats, this is largely just because it's the best color I can find, but it doesn't translate into CMYK, so I have to like reconvert basically when I've shifted everything over into CMYK. Oh, and same for Henry. There you go. Is that everything? I think so. Yes. I think we can safely move on to yet another page. Oh wait, did I? Just gotta back up my line art. 60, 40, 40, 0. All right. So, great. Fill that. Back up. Contract. Did that happen? Did it do the... Oh, no it didn't because I did it wrong. Alright, should work. Great. This page looks ready. Okay. Alright, now this page. Dadgummit. This page, I have to do something, which is I need to... my coloring assistant pointed out to me that I forgot to draw. Jake is actually wearing a collar and a charm, so I'm... actually don't really like drawing in Photoshop very much, but just for this small thing, I think it'll be all right. Okay. So I've set up another layer. I'm just going to draw on a layer above. Maybe I should do the charm first. Okay. I'm also going to make this brush smaller. Dadgummit. Oh. See, here's another... I'm thinking this is a CS3 thing. Every time I pick a new brush, it resets it without shape dynamics, and that is just... I have to manually go in and switch it on. Working with inferior technology. Okay. Oh wait, yeah. Not that. That's better. Although that's not really correct. I don't know why I was doing that. It's weird. Okay. I do like this. don't you cooperate? All right. And I gotta go in. Oh wait, I need to also draw, fill in the details on that charm. See, it did it again. Don't understand. Yeah, Photoshop is, or CS3 anyway. I think it was just CS3 because it was never. I don't think it was ever really designed for stylus input, or wasn't designed very well for it anyway. Okay. All right, now I need to go in here. Nope, nope, nope. Bothers me. What's up with that? Oh, okay. I'm really gonna have to go in and yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of frustrated with how long it's gonna take to do this little fix for such a minor detail, but it's an important one. Excuse me. Okay. All right, and then I have to go under here, and I'm gonna get rid of all those little bits, and then I need to refer to another page to find the colors for all these things. Dadgum. All right, here we go. Oh, no, I saw a thing. Oh. Whoops. What page? I guess I'm gonna refer to this one. All right. Oh yeah, it's gonna. I don't understand why it does that. It's so annoying. All right. The middle one is the white one. The top one is the yellow one. The blue and the green. Red. Take this gold color, goldish. It's a goldish color. Merge those two. Multiply. All right. Oh, whoops. So ready to move on to actually coloring though, y'all. I'm gonna listen to some podcasts or audiobooks. Do y'all have any favorite podcasts you like to listen to? I'm always looking for new stuff. I just recently became a subscriber to the Coast to Coast AM Insider thing. Because I was like, oh, I actually listen to that show a lot, and it's only $50 for a whole year, which is pretty nice considering like you get access to a pretty huge catalog of stuff. Um, and I really would prefer not to stay up like till 4 o'clock every night just to hear an entire episode. And sorry, I'm like, oh, I missed something else. Go in and draw that. And so I bit the bullet on that. And it's been good though. I like it. I'm glad I did it because I will probably listen to literally every episode in the catalog of the last 5 years, which is they do an episode every single night. So I don't think I'm going to listen to all that material. Like, who could? Who could listen? I guess if I just listen to 2 episodes every day, but I'm not. I'm going to listen to at least one episode every day. I'm not the biggest fan of George Norrie, but to be honest, I do really like listening to the episodes where he does like alternative health stuff. I guess because like as I'm getting older, I'm becoming a little bit more health minded. So there's a lot of interesting. I always learn something interesting in those episodes. He's just. I think the reason why I'm not a huge fan of George Norrie in particular is because he's not like. Okay. I was a huge fan of Art Bell. And part of the reason that was because Art Bell just really played up the mystique and the mystery and all that stuff. And yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of hucksterism going on, but like it's fun. It's so his style of hosting Coast to Coast AM was so fun. George Norrie is he's just a little bit more low energy, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. He's not a terrible host at all. And I'm so glad that there are like so many other guest hosts now. Because I really enjoy Ian Punnett. He's pretty good. He always has interesting guests on and covers really interesting topics. Oh, that's the thing I need to do next. Sorry. I always get distracted when there's something where I'm like, oh, did I miss something? I like Ian Punnett. I like Richard Serrett. He's interesting. I like Jimmy Church a lot. He is definitely more of the old school Art Bell kind of selling it up type. Who else is there? George Knapp. He's all right. He's kind of he gets the job done. There's some other guest hosts that I haven't listened to yet though, and now I'm subscribed to that service, I'll get to check that out. Okay. Now I gotta fix all the colors. Where is look for the color for Revenstone. Plantu's boots. I have really come to like Jacques Pontu as a character. Maybe a little too much, but I'm having fun with him. Gonna ride that for the rest of the season. Just sometimes I don't know. I just really I like characters who are villains. I would call him in D&D terminology probably like he's not quite chaotic evil. He's like kind of more towards chaotic neutral, I'd say. Like he's definitely chaotic neutral. Um because all of his interests are sort of self-interests. All right, there's a thing, but no, I like him because he was a really complex character, and I like complex characters. This has been a pretty complex story arc overall. Been a lot of stuff going on. I am ready though to bring it on home. And that's what's excuse me. That's what's going on in the next 15 or so episodes. We're gonna bring Jake home. Hell or high water. We're gonna bring Jake home. Oh, there's so many color holds. It's so easy to do when I'm drawing in Clip Studio because I'll just draw the line art in and be like, oh, okay. And then I have to do this part where it's like, oh, I gotta convert everything. It's a little bit much. I first started listening to Coast to Coast AM back in, what was it, 2003? No, not 2000. Well, probably the first time ever was back in 2001. That was like the height of Art Bell. I think George Norrie was just starting to kind of come in as a guest host. But that was like Y2K and, of course, usual alien abduction stuff. The first episode I ever remember listening to, I was just like messing around with this like handheld radio that I had for forever, and I don't even remember where I got it. It was just this tiny, maybe this big at most, tiny little device, but it got perfectly good signal. And sometimes I would listen to it. I was going to sleep. This is like freshman year of high school, and I just like mess around with tuning it, just trying to see what stations were available in my area. And then one night I came across the show and was like, what is, I was messing around in the AM stations and I was just like, what is this? Because they were talking about like, this guy was talking to Art Bell about like this invasive alien species called the Rods, and apparently he could only see them. And as I was listening to him talk about it, it became apparent to me that he might have just been talking about, like, you know how like sometimes there's those little squigglies, those little transparent squigglies in your eyes, like if you look up into like a clear blue sky, you can see them sometimes, which is just like from what I understand, it's just like coagulated goo on your eye, like not on your eyelids, but like on the what do you call that? I'm just gonna call it the screen of your eye, the surface of your eye, or I think it might be within the eyeball itself. I am not a scientist on this. I just know it's not an. I know whatever he was describing was probably not an invasive alien species. There are plenty of other things that people have cited and talked about that could be a good candidate for that, but what he was talking about was not it, as far as I could tell. Let's check. Oh, gotta do the line art. Anyway, it's all downhill from there. I listened to a bunch of. That was the first time I'd ever heard it, back in 2001, and then every once in a while I'd like catch Coast to Coast AM on like my truck's radio, but never really like properly listened to it or anything until art school. And that was when I was, I was working long hours like I work now. And I was starting to get into that routine. So during art school, that was exceptionally intense too, because it was like I'd have 11 to 12-hour work days. And so that was back in the days of Winamp. Winamp still exists, but definitely, it's definitely particular to its age because it's not used as widely as it was used at that time. I mean, that was back during the old pirate days that I'm sure everybody around my age can relate to. Back during Napster and all that stuff. It was actually, I don't know, because that's 2003, 2004. Napster was starting to go away due to various reasons. But yeah, Winamp was great back in its heyday. Winamp was amazing. Winamp was kind of like what Twitch has become, but it was a little more like it's a little more underground and a little more like it's what I imagine public access TV is like, because I've never really watched public access TV. But I mean, you had access to like basically any public radio station that was streaming around the world. I mean, any radio station, not just public radio, but I'd find all kinds of weird stuff. And mainly what I would listen to, there were two main things I listened to on the Winamp stations. There was a Coast to Coast AM Art Bell stream that just ran 24 hours of old episodes of Coast to Coast AM. And then there was a TV station. So this is the other cool thing that Winamp did, is it had like streaming TV, and it was everything. Like you could find new episodes of Family Guy. You could find movies. You could find just you name it. Just everything really. But one station it had, which I keep looking for it, but I don't think it exists anymore. Like it's gone. Like Tears in the Rain is just gone. Was this streaming TV station called IamThatIam.com, and it was the greatest. Like it was my favorite thing because it was all new age and spiritual stuff and psychedelics and just the weirdest the weirdest stuff at that time. Like I had never seen anything like just documentaries about Aleister Crowley and um, what is that guy's name? Like it would play. IamThatIam.com would play this documentary called The Century of the Self, which is a really good documentary. I think you can find it on YouTube. I highly recommend you look it up and check it out sometime. And like would stream like the like Alex Jones infiltrating the Bohemian Grove, like you name it, whatever weird conspiratorial or psychedelic or new age thing you can imagine, you could have found it on there. But it's gone now. Like it doesn't exist anymore. Um, the good old days. But I watched that so much. Look, there's a color I'm looking for real quick here, and think I'm gonna be done. Yep, that looks like done. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope whatever's going on with y'all, you're having a great day. Whoa, that's intense. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.